Are you looking for answers to the unknown? Welcome to Live with Medium Lisa Phoenix and step into the magical presence of the metaphysical realm. Lisa will share the wisdom and musings from her own experiences, have intriguing conversations with other mediums and healers, in addition to exploring a wide array of topics and teachings on intuitive and mediumship development. Lisa will be taking your calls and inviting your friends and loved ones in the spirit world to share their stories with us. Raise your awareness as you are reunited on the level of love, and let's go live with Medium Lisa Phoenix.
Sunday. It's a wonderful day in Southern California, and welcome to the Live with Lisa Phoenix radio show. I'm Lisa Phoenix, your host, a medium and energy intuitive. And I just want to tell you that we're having some technical difficulties this morning. So give us a minute and we will be right with you. We are going to talk about a variety of topics this morning. If you want to share your own challenges or ask questions about your own specific journeys, please go to my Facebook page, Lisa Phoenix Live, and post your questions, and we will do our best to address them while we're on the air. If you want more information about the Live with Lisa Phoenix radio show, please visit my website, lisaphoenix.net, or email me directly at info@lisaphoenix.net. I would love it if you would go to my website once again, lisaphoenix.net, and sign up for my Intuitive Insights newsletter, which will add you to my mailing list. And please like me on Facebook. My special guest today is Tracy Dunblazer, spiritual empath, shaman, educator, and spiritual counselor, who is based in Los Angeles, California. Tracy specializes in grief counseling, energy dynamics, intuitive counseling, shamanic healing, space clearing, past life regression, soul recovery, and transition strategy. In 2005, Tracy founded It's Time to offer resources, education, and strategies for other practitioners, as well as those just embarking on their spiritual path. I also want to add author to Tracy's categories, as she has now just released her second book. Is that correct, Tracy?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'd love it if all of you would go check out her website at www.tracydunblazer.com. That's TRACEEDUNBLAZIER.com. Tracy, how are you this morning?
I'm great. I am great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Things are really good. And so that being said, let us know what you got going on these days. What do you got coming up?
Specifically this Wednesday, I'm a part of this really amazing program. It is an online webinar with 5 magnificent teachers about mindful dating. It's called the Mindful Dating Challenge. And so it's 5 different seminars about different topics about dating. The first one that we just experienced was about, really zeroing in on what you are looking for in a partner, a relationship, or whatever. Last week, people learned if you're a part of the online dating community, all of this is put on by meetmindful.com, which is an amazing conscious dating website, which for a lot of your listeners will be right on target with. We learned how to do a mindful dating profile. And then this Wednesday at 5:30, it's 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, and you can Google the Mindful Dating Challenge and come up with the link. But I am teaching about how to pre-screen your date, or how to recognize subtle red flags, whether it be, for safety, at the low end for safety reasons, or just, basic incompatibilities.
Gotcha.
How to recognize subtle information.
And with the big V-Day coming up, I'm sure we could all use a little bit of that, huh?
Right. This is awful, but 2 weeks before Christmas and Valentine's Day are in the top 3 of the times where the most people break up.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. And then you have the other side of it where there's all these people just kind of grabbing dates to have them for.
Exactly. I can't be alone for Valentine's Day.
Right. Or I've got to show my family someone. Or
That's hilarious.
So, Tracy, can you talk to us a little bit about this?
So the whole concept of mindful dating. I mean, I think the most important thing is the biggest concept about mindful dating is learning to be self-aware and self-accountable, right? Being personally responsible for you, your thoughts, your ideas, your energy, your ideals, right? And not putting that on another person, not looking for your happiness based on a relationship or someone else, or hoping that somebody else will fulfill for you what will bring you the most happiness. And that's just really, that's been a huge, I think that's the biggest transition for anyone. I think people who enter into relationships eventually have that goal. Whether or not you enter into a relationship in a mindful place, if the relationship is going to endure, it's going to have to become mindful,
Yes.
and really breaking down exactly what that means and how can we learn to be that.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Now, Tracy, this is just a question out of the blue, but as far as the website goes, now, do you have more men or more women who are participating?
Interestingly enough, it's been equal.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
I do find that interesting.
As far as teachers are concerned, it's equal. I think that there are two men and 3 women.
Gotcha.
But actually, no, there's 3 men because there's a bonus class. Basically what you do is you can purchase the whole thing for $149, and even if you've missed a couple of classes, you will get the links to those so that you can watch them.
Right.
But it's 6 and 6, male and female. Another thing with mindful dating is that they're really looking to eliminate gender expectations in a particular way.
Well, I think that's great. And that's why I just wanted to know if like, I wasn't so much talking about the teachers, but I was talking about the people on the website, not necessarily the class. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
You'll find with certain sites, there's more women, other sites, there's more men. So I was just kind of wondering,
Because
we're getting mindful.
Yeah. I think that there are just as men who are interested in being mindful and mindful dating as there are women.
Awesome.
And possibly even more, because I think that being mindful in dating, it requires all of us to have a little bit more emotional intelligence,
right,
and emotional mastery.
Yes.
It's like how everybody got their stuff.
Yeah.
But how can you be responsible for that and not even have the desire to put it on somebody else? Like, you did this, or you made me feel blah, blah, blah.
Right. So, Tracy, tell us how we can do that.
Well, the first thing is learning to, one of the things that I'll be talking about in the red flag class is the most important thing I think in life, and especially with online dating, is learning to trust yourself.
Gotcha.
Trust your instinct. Become aware of your thoughts and feelings. Become aware of your subtle energy. The way that if somebody offers you some food, like, here's a frog leg, right? And you're a vegan, and so that's disgusting to you. You wince. You have an emotional reaction, and we have those emotional reactions 10,000 times a day,
right,
about everything. But some of them we have learned that it's inappropriate to show others that we feel that way, whatever that way is.
Right.
So, hey, what do you think of this dress? Does it make me look thin? We've learned to mask over the real look on our face or our real feeling and say, no, you look terrific.
Right.
So we've learned, everybody in their microcosm of their family unit, right? However you grew up, in whatever circumstance or condition, you learned a way of communication. And you have to not only take an inventory and understand what it is that you learned, but sometimes teach yourself to unlearn it and relearn something else.
Right.
Right? And so becoming aware and learning to take an inventory about why you feel the way you do, which things bring you an idea or energy of repulsion, which ones inspire a sense of calm and joy and happiness or stability, right?
Right.
Because it is those undercurrents of energy that are the strongest in us that actually attract to us our potential partners.
Yes, exactly. And I also think it's good that while we're learning this, that we kind of, I'm going to say that we test ourselves. You know, when you're learning to trust yourself, it's a really good idea. So if you're having a feeling or certain, to check it out and see whether it's you or whether your intuition is right on.
That is such a great idea, Lisa. One of the things that I think online dating really offers you a massive opportunity to do that, because you can be not necessarily anonymous, but you can meet, 10 people in a day, and your only interaction with them, like they come and go. That's the thing with online dating, is that it really is about the numbers. It's really about meeting as many people as possible and being your true authentic self as readily as possible, and then trusting your intuition as readily as possible. And so doing exactly what you're talking about is, signing on. If you get out like at meetmindful.com and you sign on and you do your profile, and then you reach out to 10 people and say 5 of them respond back, having that interaction. I had a fabulous experience one time, Lisa. It was so hilarious.
Can you hold that thought?
Yes, I can.
And share it when we come back?
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to be taking a break here, everybody. You're live with Medium Lisa Phoenix and Tracy Dunblazer. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Eros Evolution is where sexuality and spirituality meets. Join me, clinical sexologist Martha Tara Lee, on Eros Evolution on Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Have you been searching for a perspective beyond the mainstream? Check it out. Join your hosts Yelito Pascual and Diana Gold Holland on Share International Radio for thought-provoking views behind the news, Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio. You can also find us at shareontheairradio.org. This may be the message of hope you've been waiting for.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Welcome back, everybody. You're live with Lisa Phoenix and author Tracy Dunblazer. So, Tracy, share that thought, please.
Okay, so dating is about the numbers. It's not about meeting somebody and trying to make them into what you want. It's about meeting as many people as possible and doing and learning how to truly be your authentic self. It's coming from the premise that when you if you are truly who you are without shame, right, then you will attract someone of similar ilk, and you will find compatibility and harmony in that relationship. So, or it's not necessarily finding somebody who's like you, but when you are at peace with yourself, you will find others who are also at peace, and therefore, when you connect, you then connect with you create harmony. There's a possibility for harmony in that in that relationship. Everybody accepts themselves as they are, so therefore they you as you are. Right. So you were talking about the idea of just practicing. Right. And with online dating, you can meet, like I said, 10 people. You can reach out to 10 people in a day. And whoever responds back, take it as an opportunity to ask yourself what are the first thoughts or feelings that you have when you looked at their picture, or you read their profile, or you have an instant message or phone call interaction with them. What do you get from that? And one time, this has been several years ago, I got onto a dating website, and I had met this guy. We'd IM'd back and forth a couple of times, and then we decided to have a phone call. And my immediate response to just interfacing with his energy on the phone, I actually said this out loud. I said, "Oh my God, he's such a sad sack." And then the reason why I noticed it is because I actually spoke out loud. It was a loud thought. And I was like, "Oh, I hope he didn't hear me." And he didn't, thank goodness. But what I meant by that was that he is a person who his focus was that his world happens to him. His world happens to him. Everyone has influence over him. He has no power himself. Right. And so interestingly enough, I mean, in addition to that, he was a nice person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I went on 3 different dates with him, and I didn't like him in a romantic sense, but I ended up renting an apartment to him. I was managing an apartment building at the time. And I rented an apartment to him. And so basically I took it to the whole next level in checking to see what your instincts tell you. Right. Because what ended up happening, I think his apartment was broken into, and he wanted to blame the apartment building and management. And I mean, it was a mess. But the bottom line is that, his whole, when I called him a sad sack, in my language, what that means is that he's a person who feels sad about his life, about his condition, about about where he's at, and that everyone else has power over him. He doesn't have any power. And that proved to be true in every occasion after that moment. If I had wanted to, I could have not spent any of that time. He was a nice person, and I made another choice, and it's all good. I have no regrets whatsoever. He was lovely. But that's just proof that your first instinct, what you first say to yourself about somebody, what you pick up on them, it's telling not only about them, but it's also telling you about what you prefer. What are your preferences? What are you really looking for? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that was literally the first conversation I ever had with him. The first less than 60 seconds of hearing his voice, and it was accurate. So I became clear. It allowed me to participate, but not participate to a whole other level. I think one of the things that happens when people don't practice, right, is they give themselves very few experiences to go on. And then if they're incorrect, then they feel bad about themselves and then chastise themselves.
That's exactly. They don't gain confidence. Right. And I think that was the first thing you said was about trusting in yourself. And yes. I don't think that if people don't, I'm going to say practice or play with it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They never, and again, because I like the word a little bit play because it should be fun. Do you know what I mean? It should be a fun journey to kind of course, there's life and at times, you know what, life does happen, but I also think that people should put a bit more play into discovering who they are and trusting themselves, you know?
I do, absolutely. I think in order to do that, I think that perspective is the winning perspective. I think the way to do that, when we naturally recognize people's lowest common denominator. Right? So
yeah.
When we do that, the only way that you can make that fun is to say, you know what? I'm gonna learn I am completely safe in accepting everyone as they are today. Not how I wish them to be, but as they are today. I'm safe to do that. Right? When you allow yourself to see somebody as they are, then you can love them anyway, right? But how you love them changes. You know, some people you might want to love from afar, right?
Yes.
Because what they have going on is not compatible for you. But when you still love them, it makes the process and experience fun, right?
Yes.
People want to connect and they want to love. This conversation, I know we're gearing it towards our single people today, but the reality is this goes. This is effective for office situations or coworker situations when you're meeting people, so that you can get to know them and be at peace with who they are, not try to make them or judge them for who they're not.
Right. And
So,
yeah, and you know, the whole just with everything going on with like the internet and everything, I mean, things have changed so much. I was actually at an event last night, and there were two sets of people talking about dating and about love. There was the first woman who I talked to, and she proceeded to tell me that she was now in love, okay? And she was talking, but she did say, she said, you know, we met and she didn't meet. They didn't meet in person. They met online. And then they never actually met in person for like 2 months, you know? And so it's kind of like the whole paradigm is changing.
it is.
You know, and I think it's fascinating.
You know what? There's a whole sense of, on one level, instant gratification. And also, what's the word that I want? People can be gluttonous. You know what I mean? You really have access to so many people that you can't possibly. There's another app that I have been using called Happen, HAPPN.
What's that?
It's a phone app, and it uses your GPS. And when you have crossed paths with somebody, it notifies you, if the other person is on the app as well, it notifies you with their picture and whatever few lines of profile that they have, and whatever pictures that they've put up. It takes those from their Facebook, and it gives you their first name, their age, and then it tells you that you're within 250 meters of them.
That's kind of like Tinder, too.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, and because I only bring that up because that was the other. There were a couple like younger kids at this event last night, and so on a good way, talking about how things have shifted, but then they were saying like, you know, right now it's at the place, I'm talking like high school, college age kids. They're like, well, you know,
right.
If you're just having a normal conversation with somebody, you use Snapchat if all is well. If there's a bigger problem, you might email them and then a lot of times too, if you're going to break up, it's a text. Now, this is the younger generation we're talking about.
Right.
But it seems like that's the pattern that they're going in to a certain extent, you know? It's just, I find it amazing. So now what does this happen? And because they were talking about Tinder too. This young woman, she's in college, and she was talking about how she was on Tinder, and that's another, if you're in a certain radius, the same thing that you said on Happen. And she said, I guess, and you find out who these people are. It was like one of the football players at her college, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
And there's a thing on there where you can do a like, but then you have one super like a day.
Yes. Oh, funny.
So if you hit the super like, and then he hit the super like for her and she hit the super like for him, and then next thing you know, she gets this thing through Tinder, hi, and then so she says hi, and then he said, what's up? And then that was as far as it went.
That's hilarious. No, so with Happen is, I don't know that I would call it a dating site. I think it's more of a networking site.
Gotcha.
Because there are a lot of people who are not necessarily usually people say in their profile, hey, I'm looking to hook up, or hey, I'm interested in meeting new people because I'm new to town. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is. For me, I'm writing a book on relationships, and so I clearly stated, look, I'm interested in dating, but I'm really here to talk to you about your dating life.
Right.
And so I want to get out and meet people and talk to you about what you're doing and how your experiences are. And I got a lot of interest based on that. A lot of people were really excited to meet me or happy to meet me. And we actually met in person and had coffee or whatever, because I wasn't looking to date. I was just looking to make new friends.
Right.
And there are a lot of, so Happen has a little bit of everything. But the interesting thing is I have met more people outside of, I have my little circle of friends.
Right.
But then there's a whole universal circle of friends. And that's what I feel like I really connect with. Every week I have a new intention for the kind of people I want to meet. And every week it changes dramatically. And I don't change a lot about my behavior. I mean, I occasionally go, to Hollywood.
Right.
Or
All
new
right.
people. Go ahead.
No, hold that thought, Tracy. We'll be right back. You're listening to Live with Lisa Phoenix, and my special guest, author Tracy Dunblazer, will be right back. Stay tuned.
Your conscious lifestyle on steroids. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
If you remember living fearlessly, joyfully, and in a world filled with adventure, happiness, pleasure, and unbridled living, then this show is for you. Join me, Dame Nicole Brandon, as I bring you the world's top experts in wealth, creativity, flow, seat-edging technology, space, wellness, health, love, lust, and passion, all merging together each week here at the Hub of Happiness. Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Passionate Living, where you can ride on the magic carpet ride of living and learn how to lead a passionately wild, exciting, and outrageously amazing life.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Welcome to The Gathering Around My Kitchen Table on Equilarium FM, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join my guests as we integrate spirituality into everyday reality with vibrant conversations, inspired interviews, and my latest channeled guidance to inspire and brighten your day. I'm Claire Johnson, and together we'll be raising vibrations across the nations.
connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Live with Lisa Phoenix and my special guest, Tracy Dunblazer. Tracy, you were saying.
I was saying something. Goodness gracious.
I know, those commercial breaks are kind of like...
Well, it's just sad because, I am totally pretty shiny things. You know what I mean? So I was talking about one thing, and I was like, oh, then that happened, and this... I've had several more thoughts since then.
Okay, so let's start with a new one. I'm good with that.
Excellent. That's hilarious. No, so I think that just really talking about mindful dating, and we were talking about happen and meeting people, and I've met some great people, and I have absolutely met. I go to different places all over the LA area, but now less than other times in my life.
Oh, right.
But I literally
Hollywood. You went to Hollywood?
Yeah.
Sometime?
So I went to Hollywood to exercise at this canyon that's there, and from that experience, I connected with 3 or 4 people that I would have never crossed their path otherwise. But as it turns out, we have a lot in common, and I've met them and had phone conversations and just have a new connection in the world with somebody who's doing other things that are like-minded, but in other worlds. I've met several people on the freeway. That's the other interesting thing, is that literally, all of the freeways in LA, how much time do we spend on the freeway in LA? And you connect. I've actually met people in New York City, Chicago, New Orleans, Baton Rouge,
so
Albuquerque.
How are you connecting with these people on the freeway? Through that app?
Yeah, because the app, if you cross another person's path physically, like they're going south, I'm going north, we cross paths.
Right.
The app's GPS realizes that we've crossed each other's path, and it will let you know. It lets you know, not in a timely fashion most of the time. You have to update and I don't do that often, but it'll let me know who I've crossed paths with during the day, and if I'm interested in any of them. You can you hit the heart, and it's you like them, and if they hit the heart back, then you connect, and then you can also double tap the heart, which is you hit that heart twice, and it sends them a little charm saying, "Hey, I'm here."
Right.
And that's how you can make sure that somebody knows that you've crossed paths with them and that you want to communicate. And then you can instant message all on the app.
Right.
So I've had some fabulous conversations about love and dating, mostly with men. You can't say that you're bisexual on this app, so you have to choose men or women. Like I would have loved to have talked to women as well, because I'm just talking about dating, but
oh, gotcha.
But yeah, so it was it's interesting, and it's connected me in ways that I wouldn't have otherwise had access to.
Gotcha.
So it's interesting, but you can't be easily offended, because I've met some people. This is my best conversation this month. I was chatting with a guy. We crossed paths in the airport in LAX, and he was on his way going from Dubai to Ohio, where he lived. Uh-huh. And we crossed paths. The next day we had a conversation, and we started talking about, he was saying that he was non-traditional in his views on dating. So I asked what he was talking about, and he basically said that he would like to, that he doesn't pay the check.
Gotcha.
He expects that all of his dates pay their own way. And I said, wow. I said, well, I'm not your girl, because if I'm going to date somebody, I need it to be a little more traditional.
Right.
I definitely want to make that distinction between, hey, we're dating and this is a romantic thing or not. And not that I believe that anybody, but for the first couple of interactions, I believe that it should be, for me, traditional. And that's what I said to him. For me, that's what I need. And he says, well, that sounds weak to me. He told me in one conversation that I was weak, and the other gem was that he said, if he would basically, if he paid the check, he'd want to have sex with them like they were like the prostitute they are.
Oh,
and
he
I
said
quote,
that? Wow.
He really said that.
Wow.
And so I said to him, I said, wow, it sounds like you have a lot more on your heart than just paying the check, and I wish you the best of luck. And that was the end of that conversation. But, you meet some people out there who have some broken hearts. You know what I mean? Sure, this guy was, he was not awesome, and we could call him a lot of names, but the truth behind all of that is he's hurt and probably is not exactly where he wants to be in life. You know what I mean? And you meet a lot of those.
Right.
And it's okay. It's okay to meet them. I didn't waste, I've used that story for some good fodder. I mean, that's a good story. How often do people say things like that? So, but you can't be light of heart when it comes to meeting a lot of people, because people are going to not be nice. Sometimes they're going to be rude. Sometimes they're going to be hateful. And you have to go, okay, thanks so much for playing. Bye-bye. And move on from them, right? Not spend mental, emotional, or spiritual energy on processing their problems or making their problems your own.
Yeah.
And I think that dynamic in general, I think, is the biggest lesson that we have to learn in relationship, is learning to be autonomous even though you're in a relationship.
Yes.
Definitely. I think that's a profound thing that comes as a struggle to all of us at times.
Yes, and especially, it seems like, a couple generations there, really came into a time, where they were kind of discovering their own wounds, and then and so we went through a total time of everybody being in touch with their wounds, and accusations flew and this and that. And now it's kind of, I love this because I feel like on a universal level, it's trying to now pull that back and find some balance. As you were saying, of not accusing everybody, you're responsible for my pain, and
right.
And so I think this is phenomenal that we're kind of trying to come back and meet at a center point, where it's like, yes, absolutely, you're wounded, acknowledge your wounds, acknowledge that, but don't stay there. And by staying there is when you put the responsibility for your stuff onto other people. And a lot of times that happens in a love relationship because,
Yeah. No, it's true. It's fascinating. It's interesting that you're talking about blame, because I'm actually writing an article on the blame game and why it's important to learn how to not do that. I write relationship advice for meetmindful.com, and that's my topic this week. And it's true. You can't grow while you give other people power over who you are or who you want to be.
Right.
Meaning you can't expand your life. You can't better your condition. You can't heal your health, your heart. You can't heal until you own your power and own the choices that you make, and that you find mercy and patience with yourself. It's interesting. Somebody, on Facebook, they have all those really uplifting memes. And somebody said, it was some meme about, if you don't like the results in your life, then start making better choices. And as much as I understood what they meant, which says, make good choices in life, it sounded like I felt like I got in trouble and I don't even know them and they don't know me. Mm-hmm. I was like, hey, I make good choices.
Right.
So, it was funny.
You on the attack or the defense.
It did.
Yeah.
Right. I felt bad for a minute, and I thought, wow, we do that to ourselves. It's like, for me, if you learn to accept the choices that you make and understand the choices that you make, you will then inevitably make different choices. But choices aren't better or worse. you make a choice and you do it for a purpose, and that purpose serves you in some way. So to diminish that in some way is unhelpful and unhealthful.
Exactly.
Right? And so learning to just embrace the choices that you make and say, wow, for the time, I mean, I made that choice, so it must have been good for the time, but this is the result that I got. It helps me here. It did not help me here, and I wouldn't do that again. And then that allows you to, well, what would I do going forward? What do I want to do? What is important or valuable to me? Right? But to do that in a way where we don't chastise ourselves or others. I mean, we have the world is sad enough right now with a bunch of crazy stuff going on, crazy, ridiculous stuff going on that people want to blame on politics and religion or ethnicity, right? Or patriotism. Right. So we don't need to chastise ourselves about, our habits.
And our choices.
Exactly.
And I really do. I know you said this, but I just really, I think it's really good to kind of put an emphasis on this, that when you make choices, you're making them for a reason in that particular time. And, there are times where afterwards you might feel that you could have made a different choice that might have benefited you in a different way. But to remember, to look back on your circumstance and really see why you made that choice. And I think that there'd be a lot of less blame and and just be okay with and be honest. That's the other thing that people don't do. Sometimes they're not honest about why they made the choice. So they can never get to that part of accepting it.
Exactly. I think the truth is, Lisa, that when we make a choice, we make the best possible choice that we are able to make at the time. And if we didn't make another choice, then we couldn't make another choice.
Exactly. And I just think I just wanted to reiterate that point because I think it's a really good thing for people to hear. So we are once again going to commercial break. Stay with us, live with Lisa Phoenix and my special guest, Tracy Dunn. We'll be right back.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids.
Come heal yourself. What is healing? Healing is nothing but connecting with your all-knowing higher self that already has solutions to all your problems and is always there to guide you. Through this show, we help you to connect with that you are and tap into that innate potential you have to transform your life and fly high. Please join me, your host Monica Goyal, every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific. Namaste.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com.
What if living didn't have to be so serious?
What if you could move beyond your problems with greater confidence and ease than you've ever imagined?
Throw your labels out the window and join the Irreverent Therapist for practical tips and a very different way of approaching the changes you would like to create.
Marilyn Bradford
and Pam Hodling
have empowered hundreds of people to come out of self-judgment, quit looking to experts, and begin to create the lives they desire.
Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Irreverent Therapist Show.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Welcome back, everybody. You're live with Lisa Phoenix and my special guest, Tracy Dunblazer. So, Tracy.
Yes.
What kind of advice would you give people that are embarking on this new path of, say, mindful dating? What would you advise them? How do they start?
Because dating or online dating?
Yeah, but mindful dating.
Yes.
Not just online dating. I mean, it kind of mindful online. What can you tell us to, because sometimes it can be overwhelming if you're just stepping into that, you know?
Absolutely. You know what? Dating is a job, no matter how you slice it. And you have to be specific and structured about the time that you're willing to. So there's first things first. There's, first of all, dealing with the idea of dating. How, answer these questions. How committed are you? How much time a week are you willing to invest in the dating process? What exactly are you looking for? Are you looking to date? Are you looking to be in a relationship? Are you looking to make new friends? Are you looking to network for business purposes? What do you want? And then write all of those questions down for yourself. Once you've answered those, you can choose, whatever outlet you're looking for, meetmindful.com, Happen, Match, eHarmony, whatever you want. You can choose one of those. I guarantee you that one is a job. So if you're on several sites, that's going to be a huge commitment of time and energy to be able to work with that many sites, just so you know. But the next component is being mindful. You have to learn to be honest with yourself about who you are and what you want so that you can express that to somebody else succinctly, right? All of these apps, you don't have, all of this space to wax poetic on the life you'd like to lead with your new love. Right? You've got to be clear and concise about where you're at, what you want, what you're looking for.
20 words.
20 words, and then also be interesting. What can you? It's interesting looking at these little 3-line profiles. I've come across several of them that say, "Oh, I really can't stand this dating thing," and my thought is, I don't want to know you, and why are you here? Right? Don't bring all that to me. Then don't bring me your struggle of wanting to date but not wanting to date, right? So make sure that your profile or how you present to people who you are, that you first acknowledge yourself, the things that are positive about you, and then you present those things well and in balance, right? So becoming aware of yourself first, accepting yourself for who you are. The other thing that I have people do when I've actually helped people do their profiles a few times, and I have them write down for me, what are their 5 favorite things? What are the 5 things that they like the least about themselves, and what are the 5 things they like the most about themselves? Right? Because those, you have to be able to look at all of those. Nobody wants to see that you're obsessed, on bird. Let's say, I love to bird watch. I spent, $50,000 last year bird watching. That's not necessarily going to be attractive to somebody. So you want to present yourself in the most balanced way, but in an honest way, right? And then the other thing of mindful dating is some people just should not be dating right now. They shouldn't, right? They're not open-hearted. They might be angry or grief-stricken or frustrated, or feeling in a low condition. Maybe that's financially, mentally, or emotionally, whatever the circumstance is. Oftentimes people reach out to date when they are looking for someone to build them up.
Right.
And while I completely understand that, and I understand a lot of times when we don't really either have a direct community around us, or maybe we don't feel we have a community around us, and you want to reach out, there are other chat rooms for that. There are other ways to reach out to people where you can come together for a common, your common thought, right? Your common theme. If I'm grieving something, I want to go to a grief group, because then I can connect with people to help bring myself into balance. But when you bring that into your love life, it's a whole other context, and it will end up poorly.
Gotcha. Now, Tracy, just for 2 seconds though, what do you offer? Where do you tell those people, the people who are either one, just looking to make friends, or two, looking to kind of network for business? Where do you advise those people to go?
Well, I know that there are every city has their own meetup groups, and so you can Google
Gotcha.
meetup groups. Happen is great for that. I've met people, like I said, in 5 different cities. So it's national and it's international. I've actually met a few people from other countries. I've met them here, but it's active all over the place.
Gotcha.
And you can even go to a dating site and say, hey, look, I'm really just looking to meet people, to network, but you want to be really clear that that's what you're looking for, and know
that's
that,
what I would think.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. You may not get as much action or as much interest, but you might. But then you also might find people who are actually looking to date, and say if they like you, they're going to want you to date them.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think it's great, because there are all kinds of reasons that people are out there looking to connect. And as you said earlier, I think it's one of the most important things to do is figure out why it is that you want to connect, and then
absolutely.
figure out where to go, but back to the dating thing. So, okay, do you have any advice for so be clear, be honest, be balanced.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, bring yourself, recognize if you're not in balance, and work to do that. Right? Because anybody you meet in that time is going to be a reflection of that. I would like, Lisa, to give them the actual link to the Mindful Dating Challenge, because it's a really, you can do it in your own time. I mean, right now it's live. It'll be every Wednesday night for the next 4 Wednesday nights.
That's great, because I was going to ask you, as we're getting close to the end, people tune in in the middle of this show. Can you go ahead again and tell everybody what you said in the beginning, and give them the link, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah. It's called, I'm a part of a 6-class, like every Wednesday night for the next 3 Wednesday nights, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. It's called the Mindful Dating Challenge, and it's put on by meetmindful.com and whereismyguru.com. And it's $150 for all 6 courses. You get homework. You can do them on your own time. We've already had 2, so you'll get the links to those and be able to watch them in your own time and see the interactions that people had, and listen to some really amazing lectures on different topics, learning how to get to know who you are and what you want, how to present a good profile. I'm doing the red flags, which is this, how to read people's subtle energies, and that's going to be this coming Wednesday night at 5:30. And the link is it's kind of a long one, so if everybody wants to get a pencil, it's http://whereismyguru.com/the-mindful-dating-challenge/affiliate, which is AFFILIATE-465. And that way, with that particular link, we can track who called us from this show, from Lisa's show today. So that's what we want, is for them to use that link if they can. Otherwise, you can just Google the
I was going to
dating
say,
challenge.
there's going to be a lot of people that were just going to Google the mindful dating challenge, because that's pretty long.
I know it was long. It was long, but I thought I'd throw it out there so we can see.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. And what else? Do you have anything else coming up, Tracy?
Well, I'm working on my book too. You can go to www.baslayer.com, BESLAYER.com, and check out the book. Oh my gosh, Lisa, I am translating the book right now into Spanish.
Oh,
so
wow.
in the next month, I'm going to have it available for all of our Spanish-speaking comrades. I'm so excited about that. I'm also working on book 2 is the Demon Slayer's Handbook, a practical guide to unconditional love and self-healing. And so I am that deals with past lives and karma and life patterns. So if you've been interested in, why you do the stuff you do, or why you're attracted to the people, places, and things that you are, that book is going to really help a lot to help you better understand the deeper levels of your spiritual affinities. And then I'm also working on book 3 that won't be out for another year or so, but it's going to be a practical guide to karmic relationships.
Gotcha. All right. Tracy, thanks so much for being on the show today, and thanks for helping us expand our awareness a little bit more. And as I mentioned earlier, to all of you out in Radio Land, please visit Tracy's website, www.tracydunblazer.com. That's TRACEEDUNBLAZIER.com. I want to once again thank all you listeners out there for hanging out with us today. And Live with Lisa Phoenix is on every Sunday at 1 p.m. with Eastern, which is 10 p.m. Pacific. So please tune back in with us next week. Love it if you would go to my Facebook page and like me at Lisa Phoenix Live.